Hello friends, now let us take up the concept number 2, 17.2, Java API packages. You must have clear understanding over this concept. Otherwise, you face a lot of difficulties or confusion. I know that many students are having confusion over this concept. This is a very simple concept, but if you miss the logic, then it looks very difficult. That is why first I want to explain this through a analogy. Actually, what is package? Already explained to you. A package is a group of related classes, interfaces, etc. A group of related classes, interfaces, etc. What is need of creating packages? That is the doubt. As I told you already, Java class library or API as on the day by 8.0 version, it consists of 4200 plus classes, interfaces, etc. If they are simply dumped in alphabetical order or some other order, it is very difficult for a programmer to identify the required class and use it. Every class name is not self-explanatory fully. It gives simple idea. In such case, what is the right mechanism? grouping related classes and interfaces, etc. By that what happens? Suppose 4200 plus classes and interfaces are grouped into around 200 packages. So, where 4200, where 200. So, any package you take, you can find the related classes. Suppose Java Lang package you take. All fundamental and core language supporting classes and interfaces or sub packages you can find in Java Lang package. Java IO, all input or output oriented, stream oriented classes you can find in that. Java AWT, that is Abstract Window Toolkit. That means you can understand as a graphic user interface, graphical programming. All such classes are there in AWT package. Now you see 4200 classes are grouped into around 200 packages. So, it is very simple to identify the group. If you take any group, it is not so big. Then, depending on the name, you can identify whatever class you require for your program. It is like your college library. Suppose your college management purchase 10,000 books and simply dumps in the library. Nobody make an effort to find a book. You know that, what is the intricacy in that? That is why what they do, how you can find out or locate a book very easily, you know that. One arrangement is made. Because of that arrangement, you can find out the required book, or otherwise if it is not available also, you can find it out in minutes. Okay. So, in case of classes also, the same arrangement is made. And one more thing I have to tell you, now I am talking about API packages. If these are user defined packages also, same analogy we have to use. That point you have to understand. So, first I explain through a college example. Thereafter, actual Java API I explain. Now, first you see, this is one college, AB Institute of Technology, ABIT. In that, different groups are there, that is CSE, EEE, ME, etc., etc. Now you see, in that CSE group, two subgroups are there. In the one is a sports group, other one cultural group. Sports group and cultural group, two groups are there. Now, this is the way. Now, the structure you see, entire this is college. College is represented by ABIT. Okay. So, ABIT is common for EEE, CSE, EEE or ME. Understand? So, here also Java is common for everything. That first you understand. Thereafter, CSE. How CSE stream is identified? ABIT.CSE, ABIT or CSE. Suppose in CSE, suppose A, B, C, D students are there. You want to specify specify A, then what you do? This is what we call fully qualified name. There is no scope for doubt. ABIT.CSE.A. There is no confusion at all. Now, if you come to sports. Now, how these group of students are identified? ABIT.CSE.sports, ABIT.CSE.culture. So, now suppose you have to represent P. Now, he is in sports group. How he is represented? ABIT.CSE.sports.P. That is called fully qualified name. Okay. In this case, X, ABIT.CSE.culture.x. Understand? Only one anomaly here is this. Now, P you have to identify, P you have to address. A here P cannot be addressed because P is in a sports package, sports group. So, if you have to represent P, CSE.sports.P. If you have to represent X, CSE ABIT.CSE.culture.x. This is the way you have to follow. For any branch, the same analogy is applicable. So, same way, now the same thing, it is a replica. Now, Java API package. Entire Java, this is I told you around 200 packages are here. They all together consist of 4200 plus classes, interfaces, etc. Now, I show you one example, one package I take, that is AWT, Abstract Window Toolkit. You simply understand it is GUI, Graphical User Interfaces, that type of package. Now, if you take that, how you represent that? Java.AWT. In Java.AWT package, if you want to represent any class, let us say A, then this is the way, Java.AWT.A class. Now, color is the sub package in AWT, because all color oriented classes who are creating color spaces and all that, those are grouped like this sports group. Color oriented classes are in this sub package. Now, this is how you represent that, Java.AWT.color. Suppose in this you want a B class, that way you have to represent. Next, you come to other one, image is also some sub package. Now, in image how you represent? Java.AWT.image. Suppose in image package you want to address C, then what is the fully qualified name? Java.AWT.image.C. Understand? Suppose in image package one more sub package is there, that is renderable. Renderable means it creates the classes and interfaces which are useful for creating independent renderable images. Special package is created. How it is represented? Java.AWT.image.renderable. Suppose in a renderable package, if you want to D class, then how you represent that? Java dot awt dot image dot renderable dot D. This is called fully qualified name. Suppose if you don't want to import, this package and want to use D class, then you have to write fully qualified name. And one more thing, simply if you import Java AWT image, the D is not available. Or if you import Java AWT, this is image is not available. That point you must remember, that you must understand this strategy and mechanism. What are the fully qualified names with reference to this example, you can understand.